Hey, it's Miss Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. This is Primary Focus. I'm a kindergarten teacher on a mission to empower you to confidently navigate your child's education. But we're not going to do so much of that today. Today is my classroom reveal. I can't tell you how excited I am to film this video. I have not really felt at home in my classroom since February, early March of 2020. We went remote March 13th, 2020, and all of the next school year, 2020 through 2021, was in and out, remote, with every type of schedule that you can imagine, every type of hybrid that you could think of. I have done it, I have tried it, but I am super excited because through the help with a little bit of masking, my district has decided to fully open and have full kindergarten classes this year. So I finally got to take some things out, dust them off, and set them up. I was able to clean out a lot of things that I haven't laid eyes on in years at this point and really make my classroom feel at home. So that's enough of that. Let me show you around and show you what my classroom looks like this year. So this is the entrance in and out of my classroom. I painted this wall at the end of the school year last year. You'll see I have another wall that's this same icy blue tone. I also got these at Target and I hot glued them into the entrance for kind of a festive feeling. These will eventually hold my students' ID cards. They use these to get their lunches and check things in and out of the library. My school follows this LEAD example. We are a leadership school, so this reminds us about what it means to be a leader. And this, of course, is how we walk in line. So I have a line monitor who every time we get in line to go out of the classroom reads the chants and goes along with the kids. I love hearing them do that. I also want to say here that it is a little bit nerve-wracking for me to show off my classroom. I've worked really hard on this corner here, and right back here is just stuff that I know is organized, and I've done my best to get it looking good, but it's never gonna look good. Classrooms can feel a little junky sometimes. It can feel like they are piled up with a ton of stuff or dusty. There's a lot of pressure amongst teachers to have a room that is perfect. But I also know a ton of time and money and energy went just into this wall, which is not a place where children are looking throughout the day. I had to paint this wall, I had to hot glue all this stuff, printing, laminating. I love watching a teacher room reveal, but I'm also gonna be realistic here that I have put a lot of time and energy into this room. I've been in this room 5 years, and it is still nowhere near the perfect classroom that I wish it could be. But it's a functional classroom, and I think right now it feels pretty nice and it feels really clean, so I'm gonna go with it. This is our class library. One of the biggest projects that I took on this year was that I painted these bookshelves white. Now I'm gonna clarify here. When I say I painted these bookshelves white, I mean that I started painting them and that my husband rescued them and finished the project for me. Thank you, Mike. They were pine bookshelves, the finish was coming off, and they just looked really beat up. So I took some spray paint and spray painted several layers, and it was just soaking up that paint, was not covering up the color. So Mr. Mike came through and bought some nice furniture paint and finished painting them white. They are not painted on the inside fully yet. There's just enough of a layer for an appearance. And then eventually I'll be able to have a chance to actually go in and fully paint the insides white. I wanted to do white because I like my classroom to feel clean and fresh. I thought white was a nice color and it will go with my classroom as things change over time. Or if these bookshelves ever go with another teacher, they can easily incorporate them into their room. I've gone for a fusion in the ways that I organize my books. So on this side, I have thematic books, like these are autumn and fall books. And then on this side, I have them done by level, so I can determine what a child can actually read independently. My kids get time to read in this library on their own, and they also go book shopping every week. They have their own bag of books they keep at their desk, and they get to keep some that are on a selected level that they can actually read on their own, and some choice books that maybe they can't necessarily read on their own but are high interest and engaging. So I can balance a mix of actually practicing the skill and enjoying the skill. My goal is always that kids walk out of kindergarten with a love of reading and an interest in books. So we spend a lot of time in this library. I've made it cozy. I've got some stuffed animal reading buddies that you can work with. I also have a lot of pillows and flexible seating throughout my classroom. In an ideal world, we'll see what the COVID world has to say. During our independent reading time, the kids are in a special little area that they chose. Maybe they're under the table with a pillow, all cozy, enjoying their books. This year, knowing that this is another year of learning during a pandemic, I realized that my kindergartners were toddlers when the pandemic broke out. This means that no matter what they've been doing, it's probably been a disrupted and disorienting way of life. Though they don't know any different, I know that they are probably not coming in with the same life experience that my former kindergartners had. Knowing this, and knowing that preschools ran very differently, daycares ran very differently, and that households ran very differently, I realized that I need to dial it back a little bit with the social emotional learning and meet my kids where they are. Well, I always thought I'd be the teacher that wouldn't do this, but this year, it's time. Are you ready? Meet Happy. Happy is going to be my little friend that helps me teach this year. We're going to add in some more nursery rhymes. We're going to add in some more hands-on learning, even more than what we did before, to really help bring some of the experiences they might have missed in preschool into the kindergarten classroom. So my buddy Happy here is going to start off the school year with us. I'm super excited, and actually Happy is named after the little dog that my beloved mentor teacher had in her first grade classroom. So I've got my own Happy, and Happy's gonna help me out with learning, with stories, with giving reactions to things, to saying, Happy, get out of the way. Happy, excuse me, Happy. Right here. You gotta stay in frame, buddy, okay? So Happy's gonna be my classroom helper, and hopefully we will have a lot of fun together. I have a feeling Happy is going to be a beloved little pup. Woof! The next thing I have to figure out is how to get Happy a mask. Now this space, this is where all the magical learning happens, where the smartboard is, the whiteboard is, and the all-important kindergarten teacher rocking chair is. This is the other wall that I painted blue, and this is actually the original wall that I painted blue. My students spend the majority of their day on the rug, between full lessons happening on the rug together and stations that take place on the rug too. This is a really important area of the room. This year, we got our rugs back and permission to have kids sitting on the rugs. So what I did is I actually have 2 rugs. I'm very lucky, and that is not a typical setup for a kindergarten teacher. So I've placed the 2 rugs in front of each other. You can kind of see where one ends and where these big letters are, the new one begins. And that means that I'll be able to spread my students out so that we can still have age-appropriate instruction on the rug without crowding them and giving them a little bit of space. I actually am really liking it. It felt like a huge waste of space when I first set it up, but now I like it because the room feels quieter. There's a central point absorbing all this noise, and it also feels cozier because everything is centered around the rug. It makes this area feel so much more important. Above it, I have my really cute alphabet. My husband also saved the day there. I couldn't get them to stay, so a few years ago, he drilled holes in those concrete walls and arranged a large wire to go from one side of the room to the other. Over here on this bulletin board, right now it's just pretty. I actually put this background together last year when I was remote teaching, and it looked really nice behind me, like just some beautiful flowers. But as the year goes on, I'll hang anchor charts up there. This year, I splurged and bought something kind of special for my kids that I'm super excited about. My class, I call us the Panthers, and everyone in the school knows us as that. So I decided, I saw these cute little Adirondack chairs when I was at Target, and they were pretty inexpensive, so I bought 4 of them and then 2 matching tables, and I'm gonna call them the Pantherondack chairs. So I can't wait to introduce them to my littles that are coming in, and I just love that they are in Carolina Panther Blue, which, if you haven't picked up on it yet, is a color that I use a lot throughout my class. So now I'm gonna do a quick pan of the rest of my room, but you've seen some of my favorite spaces in my classroom. I'm very lucky to have a really big classroom. I know not all teachers get this much space, so I've tried to make a lot of flexible seating and options for students. This bookshelf has a lot of toys and things on it right now, and those will get transitioned in and out as the year goes on. This is the entry and exit way to my room. This is a salvage piece of furniture that last summer I rescued off the street, freshened up, and added a cute pattern on top. That's my recess hat. We're a Leader in Me school where I teach, so you can see I've got adorable habits. This is the front of my classroom. I've got 2 rugs set up and plenty of seating options. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked my classroom, share this with one other friend that you have. Make sure that you subscribe below. I am still waiting to get 50 subscribers so that I can do a giveaway. And lastly, leave me a comment below. What is a part of your classroom that you really love? Or what's something about a classroom you've been in if you're not a teacher that you liked too? If you have any questions about where my supplies came from, I am happy to link you to them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Woof!